A 98-inch HVA Ultra VA-type LCD panel with RGB mini LED backlight unit and more than 18,000 local dimming zones. A 13.2-inch OLED tablet display with different partitions that can have different refresh rates at different parts of the screen. The world's highest resolution, full-color 0.28-inch micro-LED display for AR glasses and ultra-slim VR devices. These are some of the innovations that we are seeing at TCL CSOT's booth at CES 2026. While at this show, I managed to catch up with Mr. Mingjong Zhou, who is the Chief of Technology Planning Center at TCL CSOT.
Yeah, TCL CSOT have to highlight something special in CES because we do have a comprehensive display solution in display area. So we have a very tiny display from the 0.05-inch micro display to very large size display. And we will highlight that have a very unique performance, especially we call it the Apex.
The company has unveiled its roadmap under the theme A Limitless Future of Displays using the guiding principle of APEX. A stands for Amazing Display Experience, P stands for Protective of Eye Health, E stands for Eco-Friendly to build and to use, and X stands for X Unlimited Imaginative Potential. Of course, a slogan or a guiding framework is just something in writing, so let's see how APEX translates into individual products and innovations.
Yeah, actually, TCL CSOT will focus on several directions. For example, the competition in display, not just for the specification, more from the scenario, how the user uses the display. So we will change our strategy from the spec. We will change to the scenario. For example, why we call it APEX? We think that is important for the vision experience. We call it amazing visual experience.
A stands for Amazing Display Experience. To illustrate that, we are standing beside a 98-inch HVA Ultra Infinity View TV that is going to be used in many of the consumer products out there. It has a RGB mini LED backlighting, which means that each red, green and blue LEDs inside one optical module can be controlled individually, and this allows it to achieve more than 96% of BT 2020 color gamut. As well as that, this is capable of a peak brightness of 4000 nits on a 10% window at native white point and 1000 nits full screen. Another aspect that we see with this display is what they call the infinity bezel, where the top and the side bezels are only 2.9 millimeters and the bottom bezel is only 8 millimeters, and so this translates into 99% screen to body ratio. This is their cutting edge product for 2026, and we will probably see this panel being used in a few of the TVs that you can buy this year. Next, let's follow me and we will go on to P. So if we go on here to this P section here.
And we do have a protective display for your eye, from less harm to your eye.
P stands for Protective of Eye Health. And clearly, as I mentioned before, we look at more and more screens, and the product that I want to use to actually illustrate this principle would be this world's first natural light certified OLED mobile display. It is 6.89 inch. Now let me tell you something that you may have actually noticed in your daily life. So for example, if you actually have a mobile phone in your car, maybe to use as a GPS, and you put on your sunglasses because it is a really sunny day, sometimes the screen on your mobile phone will look much darker and maybe you can't even make it out. This is because of the linear polarizer that is actually in front of the display itself. So to combat this problem and to produce a more natural light, TCL CSOT has developed this product here. So maybe if you guys want to actually come in and see this in a clearer manner, they have actually changed the polarizer from linear to circular in the front of the screen, such that when I actually rotate this, you can see that it actually doesn't actually turn dark at all. This will produce a more natural light, which has also been certified by SGS to be healthy for your eye without actually causing much damage. Next, we will move on to E in APEX, and E stands for eco-friendly, to build and use. And here, this is something that is really quite cool and interesting, because this is a tablet-sized display here. It is the world's first partition frequency division OLED tablet display. It's 13.2 inch what is cool about this thing is that it is divided into 3 partitions: the top, the middle, and the bottom. And the refresh rate can run from 1 to 120 Hertz, but there can be different refresh rates in each part of the screen. So for example, you can have a higher refresh rate at the top part of the screen when you're watching sports, when you're watching maybe even some sort of high frame rate movies, and the bottom part of the screen where the UI is, where the user interface is, where you have to pause and where you have to play, or maybe even you are receiving WhatsApp messages from your contacts, that can have a lower refresh rate. And by doing this, by having separate refresh rates, only high refresh rate in the portion of the display that is necessary, it means that we can actually reduce the power consumption by up to 15 to 25%, which is obviously in this day of AI, we are clearly all very conscious about the amount of power that is being used in daily products. But certainly this is an innovation here that can actually drive the eco-friendliness of many products out there.
The E for eco-friendly, from the build to application, from the usage to reduce the power consumption and reduce the cost during the manufacturing. And they're using more renewable material to save the earth, to less the impact to the earth.
And of course, it is an OLED, which means that it will have inky black, it will have very high motion clarity, and it will probably have a very high PPI. It is even capable of an HDR of 1600 nits. But let's move on to the next one, which is this X unlimited imaginative potential. And this is something that is quite interesting to me because this principle is illustrated by the AR glasses or augmented reality glasses. Now, current generation of AR glasses are mostly using a single monochrome display. So this is the world's smallest silicon micro LED display with a size of 0.05 inch. And you can't actually see this, but as I actually wear this, there's actually a teleprompter that actually pops up to the screen. And I can use this teleprompter control to actually control it. I wish this technology was available to me so that I can actually do this video without that's what I mean, without forgetting my lines, and I can actually continue smoothly without actually wasting footage and SD cards and stuff like that. But yeah, that's not the product that TCL CSOT want to highlight for this principle, because this is monochromatic. They have actually developed the world's highest resolution single chip full color micro LED display, which is 0.28 inches for AR glasses
and ultra slim VR devices.
And hopefully this, when it goes into production, it will be users, in addition to just either maybe reading teleprompters or getting some news in black and white text, they can actually watch maybe even some movie content or just a quick TikTok shot on their display, or maybe even get some sort of like GPS guidance, when they are driving and things like that. So that is certainly a potential roadmap for the company.
Actually, we do have the S, that means the unlimited imagination potential. For example, we do have the inkjet printing OLED. That is something special. They can do the OLED from the conventional evaporation by the inkjet printing. They can provide a very good image quality and good performance during manufacturing. We are the display solution provider.
With all this said, AI is playing an increasingly important role in our life. TCL CSOT is describing a dual strategy for AI, namely AI for displays and display for AI.
AI is like a chance and a challenge for us. We do have a two kind of strategy for the AI. For the first strategy for the AI for display, we do have our dedicated, we call it as Intelligence 3.0 version. There is a large language model. They can help us to speed up the product design for the product issue analysis and the material design. Another one is how can display do for the AI. As we know, AI is power consumption very high. So the display, they have to reduce the power consumption in the display. So we do a lot of design for the display. So that is the whole system we do for AI and the AI do for display.
Okay, I hope you guys have enjoyed this short video that showcases the innovations and the products that TCL CSOT has brought to CES 2026 under the theme limitless future of displays and using the guiding principles of APEX. A for amazing display experience, P for protective of eye health, E for eco-friendly to build and to use, and X for X unlimited imaginative potential. But if you want to learn more about the actual consumer products that carry some of these technologies from TCL CSOT, please watch my coverage video by clicking here.